Hey guys, you're in a nutshell with me, Ina. Usapang mass cancellations ulit tayo for this episode. Pasensya na kayo, I know, medyo nakakalungkot itong issue na ito. Lalo na para sa mga kababayan natin na ongoing pa ang kanilang struggle, sa kanilang PR journey. I know, I've seen some of your comments, dun sa mga nakaraan kong episode saying na ano ba yan, Ina, puro bad news na lang ang dinidiscuss dito, nakakawalang gana panoorin. I totally understand, I get it. As much as I would love to deliver better news for you guys, na nangangarap, makalipat talaga permanently dito sa Canada. Unfortunately, the reality is this, yung pinag-uusapan natin ngayon. I don't want to make it appear that the journey to securing your PR at this point in time is easy. It is not. Diba? Pero di bale, I promise you guys, I will try to come out with an episode later this week to talk about ano pang good ang maaari nating makita sa nangyayari ngayon. For now, siguro balikan nyo na lang yung ilan ko pong mga episodes, yung features, storya ng mga kababayan nating nandito na happily in Canada. Anyway, sige, itong issue po ng mass cancellations para sa mga hindi po updated sa ating episodes. I've been talking about this over the past week. Kasi po, meron pong ilang mga immigration professionals na naniniwala na ito ang direksyon na tatahakin ng IRCC. Magma-mass cancellation, maramihang cancellation ng mga applications in some, in some categories, in some streams, kumbaga. Dahil meron daw pong provision dun sa Bill C-12, pending pa po yan sa Parliament, hindi pa po yan ganap na batas. Meron po kasing tinutulak na Bill C-12 ang liberal government, kung saan, among many others, bibigyan ng kapangyarihan ng IRCC na magkansela ng mga applications, magkansela ng mga immigration programs, as long as they think it is for public interest. Okay, so some immigration professionals are saying na gagamitin nila yan para mag-mass cancellation. Okay, so yun ang konteksto nito. At ngayon po, sa isa po palang meeting sa House of Commons last week, na itanong mismo si Immigration Minister Leina Diab tungkol dito. Tinanong siya diretso, saan mo gagamitin ito? Ang pag-mass cancellation, itutuloy nyo ba yan? Anong kategorya? Sino maapektuhan? Okay? Sinagot niya at, sige, mamaya natin himayin ang kanyang sinabi. Bibitinin ko muna kayo, sandali lang po Total, nandito na tayo sa issue ng mass cancellations or cancellation ng applications, pagbabalik ng applications. Meron lang po tayong gusto i-clarify pala tungkol dun sa last episode ko sa OINP. Okay? Balikan nyo na lang po yan. That was 2 days ago. Dahil ang OINP po, Ontario lamang, may nagtatanong pa rin Pang buong Canada ba yan? Ontario nga lang Ito na naman. Okay, so OINP naglabas po kasi ng bagong polisiya which took effect October 31st. Kung saan, sinasabi nitong may kapangyarihan siyang ngayong ibalik ang mga applications din. Okay, kahit na matagal ka nang nakaabang dyan sa OINP, matagal ka nang nag-file ng expression of interest mo, ayun, pwede na lang ibalik at i-refund ang iyong application. Ang tanong ng ilan po, sino ba talaga ang covered dyan? Okay? Thank you so much to our viewer, si Rayu Ken. Teka, papakita ko po ang kanyang comment, who alerted me about this. Thank you, I appreciate it. Sabi ni Rayu Ken, hindi affected yung mga nakapag-submit na ng application before October 30. And then meron po siyang sinite this is from the new regulations na na-upload po sa OINP program. Sige, pupuntahan natin yan. Tama siya, pero i-explain po natin. Sabi niya, hindi affected yung mga nakasubmit na ng application before October 30. Thank you so much, Rayo Ken. Sige, puntahan natin yung mismong kopya ng, yan. Ito po yan, okay? So, let's go to the portion mentioned by our viewer. Yan. Sino apektado dito sa bagong polisiya ng OINP? Yan. Ano ba yan? I-highlight naman. Yan. Okay. If an applicant applies for an approval immediately before the day this regulation comes into force, which is October 31. Yung proseso daw po na gagamitin ng officer sa pag-assess ng application na yan ay yung old rules. Okay? In short, hindi pwedeng ibalik. Parang ganyan. Okay? So, tama si Ryukin in that sense. Pero, let us clarify. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng kapag ikaw ay nag-apply for an approval? Okay? Meron pong definition kung ano ang approval. Nandito rin sa same regulation, sa bandang taas. Ano ba yan? Ayan, actually, pinakauna, no? For the purposes of our discussion, dito lang po tayo sa number 1. Ayan, no? Types of approval. Ito po yung types of approval na pwede mong applyan. A certificate of nomination. So, kung tama ang aking pagkakaintindi, o sa aking pagkakaintindi, kapag na-issuehan ka na ng ITA, tapos ibig sabihin, in-invite ka na to apply, tapos nag-respond ka na doon, di ba? You are now waiting for the nomination. Yun, hindi ka covered by the new policy which took effect October 31st. Okay, kailangan meron kang pending application for the nomination. Okay. Ang expression of interest ba ay kinukonsiderang isang application for an approval? Sa aking pagkakaintindi, hindi po. Hindi po. It is not stated here. Okay, it is not a type of approval. Kasi ikaw pa lang you are expressing interest to be accommodated by the OINT basically. Okay, so in short, kung wala ka pang ITA, no matter when you submitted your application, pwede pong ibalik ang inyong application. Okay, ang hindi lang po na pwedeng maapektuhan ng bagong policy ay, again, yung may pending application for a nomination. Naghihintay kayo ng nomination certificate niyo or hinihintay niyo yung sagot ng IRCC tungkol dyan. If sinabit nyo yan before October 31st. Okay, so I hope that clarifies things. Thank you so much again, Ryukin. I appreciate that comment. O sige, puntahan na natin itong si Immigration Minister Leyna Dia. Back to our topic. All right, here it is. Ito po ay sa Standing Committee on Citizenship and Immigration noong October 30. Yan. Let me know again what you guys think about her answer.
Okay, all right, thank you. Now, the Bill C-12, it creates a new regulatory making authority in Section 87 of the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act. Essentially, it gives Cabinet the power to cancel immigration applications and documents en masse. Obviously, this provision was added to be used. So which applications do you plan on canceling?
So what I could tell you is the legislation was not drawn with that in mind at all.
So
in terms of canceling anything specific.
Okay, so just hold on then.
Please, yeah, go ahead.
So you created a new section, went through a lot of work to put this new law into the regulations with no intention of ever using it?
Oh, I'm not saying it will never be used. That's why it's there, but it wasn't created with that intention. It came out of COVID, quite frankly, and these were previously tabled or brought in as part of the 2024 levels. So this is not new. It's been public for for more than a year now.
Okay, so
but it's yes. Go ahead.
So on September.
Tingnan mo, no? Papagulo pa yung una niyang sinabi. Ang sagot niya ng una, hindi ginawa tong batas na to yung BC-12 para sa intensyon na mag-mass cancel. So ang tanong nitong ni Mr. Brad Redekop, so ba't mo sasama yung provision na yun kung wala kang intensyon na gamitin? Diba? Biglang sinabi niya, ay, hindi ko naman sinasabi na hindi siya gagamitin. Parang, ano ba yan? Kaya nakakagulo minsan no? Sabi niya, no, I'm not saying it will never be used. Okay. So it might be used. Okay?
23rd, your own official was here at this committee talking about this new power, and he said that it would allow mass cancellations, and he said, quote, for instance, issuing fraudulent visas, we would want to mass cancel those, end quote. So if you had this power today, would you recommend canceling permits for phony asylum claimants?
Yeah.
Look, that certainly would be a measure that I would, as the minister, be able to make recommendation on, but would have to go to government and council for them to, agree with me, and then reasoning would be so now we can do things on a case-by-case approach. The reason these are brought in is for trying to deal with public interest, with, whether it's a health matter or a safety, national security, large-scale fraud.
So, Minister,
yes.
if you don't mind, would you agree with your official that this authority should be used to cancel the permits of asylum claimants who are here fraudulently?
Again, part of these would be used for large-scale fraud purposes.
Okay, so you have.
Okay. Alam mo, hindi ko maintindihan bakit hindi niya sagutin ng oo. Kasi ang tanong nito ni Mr. Redicop, gagamitin niyo ba yung mass cancellation sa pag-cancel na mga phony asylum claimants? Asylum claimants who are here fraudulently. Yun ang mga terms na ginamit niya. I don't think there is no better answer than yeah, pwede namin gamitin. Kasi phony nga kasi nga fraudulent nga Ba't niya lang siya umoo? The most she said was, okay, we will use it against large-scale fraud. Diba? Para siyang natatakot magsabi na, oo, gagamitin namin yan para dun sa phony asylum claimants. Why? There's no reason to be scared to be scared na sabihin mong, oo, phony nga diba? Dapat lang. Sige.
Put some thought into how this would be used then. So what are some other situations where you would use this mass canceling ability?
So again, I will answer where I started. They are not designed to block people in need of protection from accessing the asylum system.
So who exactly is it designed to block then?
People that are going to be committing large-scale frauds, safety reasons, public interest reasons, and those reasons would have to be before the powers are used. They would be transparent because they would have to be told to the public, to the Canadian public.
So do you have some examples of those that you've talked about in your department?
Quite frankly, yeah. If you go back to COVID, there's a lot of things that. Had this legislation been there, that could have been done differently.
Like what, for example?
Like stopping the intake of all the applications that were coming in, as an example.
1 minute.
Yan Alam mo kung napansin niyo yung nagtatanong paulit-ulit lang naman yung tanong niya He just wants a more specific answer, right? Okay, at least ito, may nakuha tayo. Sabi niya, kung meron na daw pong ganitong kapangyarihan nung panahon ng COVID, magagamit nila sana yun to address yung sobrang daming applications na dumating. Yan, sobrang daming applications na dumating. Which is basically what we are also seeing today, hindi ba? So, ang tanong ko, is she already giving a hint here that yes, mass cancellations will indeed happen as forecast by some immigration professionals?
Okay.
Which we don't have the power to do.
So
at
all
the moment.
all the applications would have been shut down, is what you're saying?
Well, it's what, and so the inventory kept going, but we were not able to bring anyone in. And as a result of that surge, that's what happened after COVID. That's part of what we're living today.
So we have a similar problem now where we have nearly 300,000 asylum claims, so a surge of inventory, as you would say. Is that the method you're going to use to get rid of that massive amount of asylum claims?
Again, they're not designed to block people that are coming here that are in need of safety. What they're designed for is to block groups of individuals that are really committing fraud.
Like 300,000 asylum claims? Should they be worried, the people in that pool?
So they're not going to give the government any new powers to cancel asylum claims or affect an individual's status.
So pardon me, but this doesn't actually give you any new powers? Is that what you're saying, this section of the law?
Gives government powers, but not on an individual one-on-one basis, because that power already exists.
So why is
It's
this- why is
for
this-
large-scale
Thank you, Mr. Redicop. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, naabusan na ng oras yung nagtatanong. But what is clear, sinabi rin ni Leyna Diab, ni Immigration Minister, hindi ito gagamitin to cancel applications on a case-to-case basis yung individually kasi meron na daw kapangyarihan para gawin yan. So, ang sabi niya, it will be used to address yung groups of individuals committing fraud. Groups. So, maaari nga talaga mangyari, no? Yung hinala ng ilang mga immigration lawyers. Okay. But again, guys, BC-12 is still pending. Okay? Actually, hindi ko alam ano bang status niyan ngayon. Hindi pa po yan napapasa. So, aabangan natin kung ano ang mangyayari dyan. Tulad nga ng nasabi ko sa previous episodes, this early, ang dami ng mga legal questions surrounding or thrown at BC-12. Tama ba yan? Wala bang paglabag sa karapatan ng mga aplikante? Ang kapangyarihan yan na pinopropose sa Bill C-12. Isa po sa akin na question, yung provision saying that they can cancel applications and immigration programs basta based to protect public interest. Some are saying public interest is too vague. Hindi ko lang mahanap yung video. Natanong din si Immigration Minister Leyna Diab tungkol dyan. Ang sagot niya, it was intentional to keep it vague. Para flexible daw sila sa mga maaring dahilan sa pag-cancel ng mga applications. There is this report, ito rin yung pinick up nung City News. Trigger for new immigration powers intentionally not defined. Sabi niya, bakit? No, bakit hindi defined? Itong paliwanag niya nga. It is intentionally not defined in the legislation, as I said, to allow for maximum flexibility for the government to respond in a range of unforeseen circumstances that threaten public interest. O, diba? Anyway, so that is it for now. Yan lang po ang update natin tungkol sa isyong ito. Okay, today is November 3rd, 2025. Sabi nila, bukas daw mangyayari yung announcement ng bagong immigration levels plan ng Canada. I promise you, I will have an episode to talk about that. Will it deliver more bad news, sa ating mga kababayang pursuing their Canadian dream? Tignan na lang natin, abangan na lang natin. O sige, I'll end this episode here, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!